Hello, everyone. Thank you for tuning in. I am Jaylee. This is JayLeesCorner. I want to review, honey, part 2. This Wendy Williams documentary. I just finished watching part 2. It was a lot. It was a whole lot to watch, a whole lot to review, a whole lot to take notes on. But I also feel like, it's just a conversation that needs to be had. I have reviewed part 1 earlier, and that was up on my channel. And a few folks commented saying, wait till you see part 2. Wait till you see part 2. And part 2, for sure, put a lot of stuff into perspective. And get my little water. It puts stuff into perspective to why the documentary was needed. Because at first I was like, we didn't need to see this. At all, but I also feel like I understand why either Wendy pushed to have this put out, or even why maybe Wendy's family pushed her to make sure it's get put out. Because while I feel like it was sad to watch, it was for sure a decline and just dementia on display, honey. And I don't mean that to be funny. I really mean like we were able to see everything gone wrong for Wendy. Kind of who was to blame. I know for a long time we blamed Kevin because when he, was cheating and everything and had the divorce had happened and all that stuff, I think we always felt like right around the time that Kevin went public with stuff, her health declined. But now that I think about it, it was before that. And it just wasn't as noticeable because it was like a little bit here and a little bit there. And now seeing part 1 and part 2, I was like, okay, I get it now. Wendy was always having issues. It was just being ignored from the people close to her. Not really her, I wouldn't say her kid or the niece or whatever, but a part of me felt like, production on that show, people, her assistants, managers, attorneys, they saw itty bitty little tidbits of pieces of her changing, and they just kept letting her work. It was crazy to see all of it play out. Now, y'all know to make sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe. And all, I forgot I'm here. Wait, where I'm at. I'm just talking because I just want to get into, hey, y'all, my shirt always looks weird when I get on camera or whatever. But, seeing part 1 and part 2 put a lot of stuff into perspective. Even the fact that the people put in charge of her did the most damage because they were the ones who were around her the most, because her family don't even live in New York. Her family lives all in Florida. So the people around her the most was that assistant, not this, the publicist girl, the dude who was a manager, and then the other person who was also like on the management team. But everybody failed Wendy. Nobody really cared to help her get better. It was really like, let's help her get back on TV. And how the how the thing started off this time with Wendy saying how, you know what I'm saying, I just want to be back on TV. The people trying to be sure I'm okay, but I'm fine or whatever. They're pushing me to, no, Wendy, you're not fine. And just to know that she didn't realize, girl, you're not okay. And I blame the staff people. The fact that we never saw the Guardian throughout this whole thing, never even seen child. We didn't even see a conversation between the wheel dude and whoever this Guardian is or whatever. It almost make it feel like the person's behind the scenes pulling puppet strings and not really caring what's going on. And then her family, the niece, the nephew, the son, who all care about what's going on, are kind of left holding the bag to try to fix stuff but can't fix nothing, okay? And when her niece, and also I feel like just seeing her, I don't want to say how she look at her regular state is a bad way to look, because we know the grave disease, it was not great, her thyroid issues or whatever, how her eyes will bug out. I feel like seeing her look so disheveled, she looks sickly. And the fact that this was shot over, a certain amount of time, where sometimes she looks great and then sometimes she doesn't. Like sometimes she looks drunk and then sometimes she doesn't. I feel like when I seen her in the middle picture, that's the only time I felt like she didn't look sickly. I mean, she looked a bit demented, to where, not demented, that you can tell the dementia was kicking in a little bit, or even the aphasia, because it was like she wasn't comprehending stuff that was being said, and it's just weird, okay? But her niece up top had came to visit her. And the niece was very, very happy, could not wait to see her auntie, because auntie loved me and I love auntie, and how we communicate is always a great thing. And we usually, when I see her, she greets me this kind of way. I haven't seen her in a year. Her niece is a newscaster in Florida, and so how great her aunt was, her, and how great of a relationship they had. And she was excited to see her auntie. And you can tell the moment she walked in the house or the apartment or whatever. And you can tell once she saw Wendy, she was like, well, this is different. It seemed like there was no more excitement. There was no more like enthusiasm, like, oh, this is great, 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 great. I think it's like for the first time she saw her aunt and how much, no tea, no shade, there was a decline in her condition. There was a decline in how she even reacted to people. Because like Wendy almost didn't even, not she didn't acknowledge her, but it just felt like, oh, well, this is it. This is how you don't even like, it felt off. And you can tell she kind of just kind of waited to see, well, what's going to happen here. And then it was like Wendy recognized who she was, but also felt like Wendy did not want to probably have any kind of real conversation, because her mind wasn't all there at that point in time. And that to me was really sad, because where's the picture? Right there. She instantly got concerned for her aunt, just in how her disposition changed when she realized this was not going to be no fun, frilly, fun visit. It was like, oh, it's something wrong. Okay. And so they sit down. Wendy talked about how she's going to be moving in about a couple weeks, but she didn't want to say how long it was. I want to move to be in a one level place because of my feet. I got my publicist, Sean, and you don't know Sean, but Sean, told me it wasn't any money in Wells Fargo no more. I'm basically broke, ain't no money around there, and how it's all gone. And so I feel like the Guardian took my money. And the niece was like, who is Sean? Why is she around here? How does she know this and that? What is going on? Now, production does say that Wendy never provided any proof that Wells Fargo or her guardian stole any money from her. And I said, well, did anybody ask Sean why she told Wendy that? Okay, how did Sean know? Your publicist should not know nothing about your financial situation as far as how much money is there. Like that should not be discussed. So when Sean came in and sat down and tried to be friendly with Alex, said, no, ma'am. No, ma'am. I don't know you. And like the fact that she's like, well, how do y'all know each other? How did y'all even meet up? Oh, well, her old attorney reached out to me for some PR and crisis management or whatever to handle the Wells Fargo situation. And I just stayed around. And I said, the minute she said the old lawyer, the old attorney at the time, meaning he not working with her no more, I was like, you. When he left, so should you. Because we don't know how he got to you. So Alex, like, okay, I'll be right back. She left, walked away, did not want to engage because, like, I don't know the girl, and I don't want to have no scene with me, her, and my aunt. Like, she don't need to be involved in any conversation or anything going on with me and my aunt. Have her get out my face. And she was kind of crying because for her, she's like, this is crazy. Like this, none of this stuff, like it's all off. Because she's realizing this shit is not normal. Something is wrong, and she has people around her who are like stragglers, and she don't even realize it. Okay, I don't know her. Why is she here? Get her out my face. And when Sean tries to go and like talk to her off camera, we have the microphone conversation. Alex still said, "Ma'am, I don't know you." So no, we don't need to talk. I don't know you, and I agree. I don't want to have any conversation with somebody who can't really explain to me what they do and why they're here. They're just here being paid. That's it. Why does Wendy need a live-in or a constant publicist with her? She ain't doing shit. So when Alex go back and sit and talk to her aunt and have more of a conversation, she's like, who is Sean? Why is Sean around? That's just kind of weird. And when Wendy brings up how, well, Sean is around, and she's because the niece asks, are you paying her? Is she your friend? Like, what's going on? And when Wendy said, well, yeah, she's my friend, I do pay her. Now she's more than a publicist because she knows stuff within finance. And I was like, no, that don't make no sense. Your publicist should not have anything to do with your finances. So again, Alex was like, let me be honest, because you have random people around you who are getting paid to be your friend, but they're supposed to be working for you. Like, it's giving desperate energy, and you are around here being an A-list celebrity. You should not have to be paying people to be around you as a friend if they're supposed to be staff folk. Okay, you taught me how to navigate this industry. You know better. Okay, the people around you should not be profiting off of you. Do not listen to the people who profit from being around you, because of course they're going to tell you what you want to hear, because why? You're paying them. Okay, well, you're paying. Auntie, I love you. I do. And you can kind of see, all right, Alex, fine, Alex, I don't want to discuss it no more, Alex. And she kind of gets up and walks away. And it's sad because you can kind of tell when they say, when Wendy doesn't want to talk about something, she shuts you down. She walks away and I don't want to talk to you no more. So I can see how the family says, because they complain about what she do, how she do it, and who she do it with, that she would then kind of push them away and then like don't deal with her. So it was just like a sad thing to watch. And then when she walks away and Alex says to the production team, how, is this so different? My aunt taught me to always say things like it is, and that's what I did with her. I was being honest, and she's a great person. I love her, and even how she greeted me isn't how we usually greet each other. She usually would come up to me with a good old hug. She's in her little robe. She feels it's a different feeling. And she was like, oh, it's food and water or drinks in the fridge. And none of that happened when she got there. And then production tells her that, she ain't got no food in her refrigerator. And I was like, how the fuck she ain't got no? I said, like no food? Like none? And so for the niece, she's like, well, that's kind of crazy because usually it's a refrigerator full of food. And so if y'all touch, she's like, I don't want to look, I don't want to see it. She walks away crying because for her, it's just a lot. And from my point of view, the family, let me see, Brittany Guardianship revealed family betrayal, Wendy Guardianship is revealing corporate greed. A part of me feel like that was all even shown in the documentary. Towards the end. So I feel like people did not want her family around. And they got him out the way. Now they bring up how Wendy then wanted to go to LA. She went to LA without Will. Will didn't know who was her manager. Her guardianship people didn't know. She just flew to LA and flew to LA with the Sean girl, the publicist girl. And I was like, I'm gonna be for 3 weeks and forget Will, forget all of them. I'm here and that's it. And I was like, even I said, Wendy around here with her PR person taking a 3-week trip to LA, that don't even sound right. Like it don't sound plausible or normal. Like that ain't what's supposed to happen. So even though I wasted water, y'all. Even though I don't fully trust Will, I almost felt like Sean was worse because she actively flew that lady to a different state and didn't tell no damn body for what? Like she don't have nothing going on. So when Will calls Wendy, get your ass back here now. You should not have went to LA. You don't have nothing to do over there. He's like, Wendy's being selfish. She's being immature or whatever. Sean then calls Will and, he fussing at her. Like, why would you take her to LA? That doesn't make any sense. Well, she told me that she had to get out the place or whatever. Come do this, come do that. She was being very, very bossy to me and what to do. And, she told me, don't tell you. Because she's petrified of what would happen or whatever. He said, well, of course she is. She lied to you. She manipulated you. And now you got me looking dumb. Now, his point was the guardianship people are going to wonder if you her manager, how was she able to get to LA and you didn't know and we didn't know either? Like, it makes him look like he can control things because not only did she make it to LA, she went with a damn publicist. It's just weird to me. And I'm like, but again, you more concerned with you being involved, not for Wendy's actual well-being. Because even though she flew Wendy to LA for a meeting, which was crazy, you had her around in New York doing shit she needed to do. So So when production also flies to LA to shoot her there, because she's still shooting this podcast. And she's like, oh, well, NBC wants to meet with you, Wendy. We can meet with them between 1 and 3. And Wendy's like, oh, for a TV show? I'm gonna be like, she really thinks she's going to get back on TV. And I'm like, no, that's not gonna happen. And so I'm like, the publicist gassing her up, like, yes, they want you on the show. Like, yes, girl, you can be on TV. It can be amazing. Yeah. And I was like, that's not common sense stuff. That's not going to help her at all. So the publicist to me was making things worse because you were convincing her, yes, we're in LA. NBC wants to meet with you. They really want to show with you. And I'm like, to me, NBC probably wanted to meet with her to just see how she looked. To see if, like, is she okay? Is she not okay? But no part of me believes they really thought, oh, we're going to give her a show. Now, if Wendy would have came there in her right mind, and if she wasn't how she was, yes, she could have gotten the show. But I'm like, she not good, and you still took her anyway, which makes you a villain in my eyes, okay? And we seen this trip kind of play out on social media with her in LA, all these photos around town or whatever. So I remember all that happening. Okay. And Wendy then brings up how her show ended because she was done being on the show. She wanted to be on vacation. She had made enough money to not have to work on the show no more. She missed her family. I was like, ma'am, you got sick and you couldn't do it no more. Now, could she have wanted to quit? Sure. But can't nobody tell me that if Wendy was able to do the show how she used to do the show, she would have left at that point in time. That wasn't true at all. They bring up stories of how like producers and people behind the scenes of the Wendy Williams show was saying she was getting drunk then. All those stories of her sobriety and them covering for her that came out or whatever, which first made us aware. I'm like, oh, she has a drinking problem. It ain't even cocaine now. She's back drinking. And when they bring up how all these stories were out from her coworkers, PR lady like, no, people gonna say that ma'am, she trying to spin the story and she's making herself look crazy. Because we see what we see, you should see it too. If you do not see it, you're not good PR at all. And trying to say, well, of course they're gonna say those things, but they weren't really there. They didn't really. I was like, ma'am, you wasn't even around when they did. How you know? And so we do see like Wendy's son and nephew saying like she don't need to be back on TV. She should not be in LA. She should not be back on TV. It's team no ma'am. Okay. And then Will says how she just lonely. She just bored. She wants entertainment. You know what I'm saying? But Sean taking her to LA was wrong. I agree it was wrong because again, do she look like she's ready for a show? At all. I just feel like Sean, to me, was ignoring stuff for her own gain because if I'm Wendy's publicist, if I keep doing what she wants me to do, it would make her want me to be around more. And I'm like, but that's not in her best interest because it was not near time I saw her and she looked as if she was ready to do anything at all. And so when production in the cars asked her, when did you meet Sean? She said, I met her a few weeks ago, many hours ago in New York. And Sean said, no, I've been working with her for a year. I'm like, somebody lying. And I don't know if it's Wendy or her. Because it's very much so possible that she's saying, I've been around for a while, but no one's seen her for a while. It could have been a few weeks ago. I don't know, okay? Because again, this is being shot in 2022. So truthfully, when the whole Wells Fargo thing happened, that could have been a few weeks ago. So I don't know. It's truth or a lie ain't in nobody's teeth. Now, Wendy brings up how after I got to know Sean, you know what I'm saying? I like Sean. I like Sean more than Will. I trust her more than Will because Will won't allow her to do stuff. Sean will. I feel like Wendy can intimidate Sean in some kind of way, and Sean will just do what Wendy says. And some people won't do what she says. So I think that's why Wendy said she likes Sean more than Will. Because Will gonna say no. And when she said, I want Sean to be my manager, not Will. I'm like, she can't, no. And we see her driving around town in LA in that same Gucci shirt or whatever. Where is that? The Gucci shirt, the little pink Gucci shirt, whatever. And she's like, I love being famous. I love when people notice me and when they see me and when they know who I am. I always want people to recognize me. So you see her like on the streets or whatever, and she was happy that people knew she. And I wasn't that many people, but when anybody recognized her, she liked it. Even at one point when did they go to dinner? Because who's the dinner scene? Where is it? While in LA waiting for the NBC meeting, Sean took Wendy to dinner. Wendy, of course, out here drinking. And Wendy, when the waiter, either waiter or waitress, walked up, I'm Wendy. Did you watch the Wendy Williams show? I'm Wendy. I know. I didn't want to tell her. So she wants people to talk to her. She wants people to recognize her. She wants the limelight, which to me is a whole bunch different than how she used to be. Because remember on the show, Wendy would say how after the show she goes home, she's to herself. She doesn't want to be out and about or whatever. So it's weird now for her to say how much she wants people to recognize her. And it could be because before she was out so much, it was a lot of attention. Now she don't get that much at all. Child at all. And I'll grab my on the comment section. What do you think that will come from all of this being revealed? I'll talk about that towards the end. That's a lot. Hey Cancer 66, thank you for being a new subscriber. The publicists are like, well, she does favor Wendy back in the day, for sure. She's living in Wendy's house probably for free. She's using Wendy for clout and an easy come up, in my opinion. I agree because I felt like she just kept saying yes, yes, yes to whatever Wendy wanted. And to me, that's not even what a publicist should do. Like, a publicist is supposed to handle scandals, promote what you have going on. Wendy not doing nothing at all. And it's weird that she has like a on-call publicist when she has nothing that need to be publicized or handled at all. Right. She did not want to be bothered by people. She always said that. She was, we just, when Wendy was Wendy Williams, how we loved her, you didn't see her hanging out and partying and stuff. You didn't start seeing Wendy hanging out partying until her and Kevin got that divorce. And then and that's when things were spiraling. That's when things got bad. We didn't see her out at dinner drinking. That's why I think, I never knew she had a drinking issue. The fact that she did is slowly but surely it got out of hand because what she round here by her damn self in that house. It's weird. And then when she was sitting up there drinking, I was like, what? Now you know, and it's not a secret that her son don't want her drinking. It ain't even a secret that the Will don't want her. Like, no one wants her drinking. So Sean sitting there on her cell phone watching her drink. I think she ordered 2 drinks. It's crazy. Absolutely crazy. And she up there drinking, vape penning, okay? You know, the meeting for NBC, the meeting for NBC, the meeting for NBC. And Wendy is feeling like, yes, I'm going to be on television. Yes, 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 yes. And while sitting there and Will calls her, a part of me feel like production probably texting Will and say, you know, she out here drinking. You know she out here drinking. Because he called like, hey, what you doing? What's up? What's going on? I'm here. Oh, what do you have? I had everything. Like, he knew something was up. And the one thing I'll give him credit for was when he was around her and she was drinking, you did see him saying, no, waiters don't give no liquor. Like, he would make sure she did not have nothing to drink. So I will say Will had parts of him trying to help Wendy, but I also feel like he was a part of the problem. Little bit. Because the same way the same way Sean had Wendy in LA for that dumbass NBC meeting, he had her around her trying to do a podcast. And he knows she's not ready for the podcast. So he ain't no better in that aspect of trying to get her to do work versus her focus on being, staying clean, sobriety, and all that shit. It's weird that Sean I'm like, Sean, you gonna let her drink that? Sean, she drinking. What is you doing? What are you doing? And when production asked Sean, so do you know production to me was saying to Sean, it's an issue. You know she had a drinking issue. Why are you letting her drink? And I don't mean let as if Wendy's a child, but again, the same way where Will will like say, hey, don't bring her no drinks. Just don't bring her no drinks. Bring her something fruity and tell her that it's a flavored liquor. Sean ain't do none of that shit. And then when being asked about, well, I think she's fine. When I see her drink, I've never seen her drunk. I've never seen her drunk. Bitch, what? I've seen her drunk and I'm even there. And I said, oh, so she's a PR person trying to spin it. I haven't seen her drunk. I haven't seen her drunk. So when I see her having a drink, like she knows her limits. Bitch, what? Wendy is an alcoholic. She is. Because she keeps drinking. It's the difference between a person who just likes to drink and someone who is an alcoholic. If alcoholics need to drink, and when you try to stop them from drinking, they get upset. A person who just likes to drink will have a drink and it ain't no big issue. Like I have a drink, like they don't need it. They not in the bed with a bottle of liquor. If you sleep with liquor in your, if you sleep or take a liquor bottle with you to do something, like you should not have liquor bottles in your bed. You should not have liquor bottles in your shower. You should not be hiding liquor bottles around your house. Hey, if you do that, you're an alcoholic. Flat out. If you do that, you are an alcoholic, and Wendy is. She fully is. And it's crazy that nobody fully wants to say, we need to put her in rehab. We really need to put her in rehab. Hold on, y'all. But Sean don't want to do that. And that's why I like Sean. Sean, when they brought up them cats puking, I said her house probably stinks. Because why the cats keep throwing up? Now, and I said to me, it also feel like the lady, the Sean girl was lying for a check. Because if I tell Wendy that she's a drunk, she may fire me. She may take it out my face. Now, when Wendy kept on saying once NBC, I see NBC, she kept saying, I'm going to show them my feet. I'm going to show them this is how I want to dress. And I'm going to sell my apartment. It'll be great. Blah, blah. I'm like, why? She keep wanting to show people her feet because she says she feel like it's a joke. It is a running gag that could be funny. She wants to take her wig off on camera. She wants to do these things. I said, if Wendy went and shot, because they didn't show us to me. They showed them pull up to the NBC building. We did not see them go in. We did not see any kind of conversation. For all we know, Wendy went on a tour of the building. That was it. We don't know what happened there. NBC refused to comment on the thing or whatever. They never offered her no show. But I said, if Wendy went in there and talked to them folk how she talked to us, child, they probably thought this bitch is crazy. What? And she said, I went in there, I took my boots off and showed them my feet. I said, you went in an NBC meeting to possibly get a talk show and took your shoes off and showed them your feet. And the fact that Sean, it went great. It was a great meeting. Yeah, it was. Oh, you delusional too. You got dementia? Because clearly that's not a good thing. And when she went back, so she then went back to New York. She didn't stay in LA as long as she wanted to. And then we see the Will dude went to meet with her and Sean. Again, no cameras. I'm like, how y'all having a documentary and y'all keep having these off-camera conversations? I'm confused. He come back down or whatever. He said, yeah, what's up? We had a conversation. It got heated. We squared things away. I still feel like Sean was wrong. Sean don't feel like she was wrong for taking Wendy to LA. She told me she not trying to take my job or whatever. I still feel like I still feel like Sean taking Wendy to LA for that dumbass NBC meeting was stupid, okay? And she need people around her that will make good decisions for her. I was like, the people who's supposed to be making good decisions for her are making them for themselves. It's never about what Wendy really needs. It's really about what they want for them that can include Wendy, in my opinion. Okay. We do hear from her family. You know, her niece, her nephew, her son. We also get to meet her sister and her brother. Her dad was only two, her dad was the dad. But the family feel like the guardianship, should have always been the family, because they were like, no, we should focus on her health and not her working. And when little Kevin said, like, for me, I'm afraid she's gonna die. I said, not she gonna die, Lord. I said, but look, it could happen because Wendy could easily fall down some stairs and hurt herself being there alone. She could easily wander off somewhere and get lost and die in the car. Like, a lot can happen to a person who suffers from any form of dementia. And a bit of delusion and seclusion and aggression. Okay. We do see she has child, her and Black Chyna. Where's that? Child, Chyna came around here, and I do feel like this was a genuine thing. At first, I'm like, why Black Chyna around here? What is going on around here? I don't know that. You know what I'm saying? But when she sat and talked to Wendy, I feel like now Wendy was happy to see her. Oh my God. Now, I don't know if she knew it was Black Chyna, but she was excited nonetheless. To me, she was more excited to see Chyna than she was to see her niece. And they sit down and talk. And I think once Chyna looked at her and looked in her eyes and seen she not right. And then she said, I miss you. I love you. And it was just conversational. And when Wendy was talking to her, it was, now again, Wendy also showed her feet. She pulled her shoes off and showed her feet, and she said, oh, does it, like, are you in pain? Does it hurt? Like, what's going on? And a part of me felt like Chyna felt like something's wrong here. Something's wrong here. And let me talk to her. She was just talking. Like, I love you. You're great. I'm going to come see you more often, blah, blah, blah. And Wendy said, my real name is Wendy Hunter. Yep. I'm divorced. Yep. He's got no money. And when she was talking, it was so, like, what she said had nothing to do with what Chyna was saying, because I was like, what? And when she did that, and Chyna said, I love you. I love you. And what was so sweet was, I think she understood, okay, Wendy ain't all there. Wendy not all there. And I can see that. So all I can do is I love you. And then she hugged with child when Chyna, Lord, I almost cried. When Chyna looked and knew I can't have no regular conversation with her because mentally she's not there. And she's, I love you. And she leaned into Wendy and, like, laid in her arms and just hugged her. To me, this was the first time that anybody showed Wendy true, like, love and affection. Even on part one, where Wendy was, like, crying or whatever, her manager did not, like, no one went in to hug her or console her, and she had to reach out and to her manager to come here. Like, no one saw the pain she was in and just embraced her. And to me, Chyna, like, recognized something ain't right with her. And all I can do is tell her to her face and say to her in clear terms, I love you. And then child, it was like, yo, child, look, it was so sad, y'all. It reminds me of like your favorite, like my Aunt Willie, may she rest in peace. But your favorite aunt, your favorite older relative who ain't there all the way. And all you can do is give them a hug and console them. And even if they don't understand what the fuck you saying, they understand that you love them and they hug you. And Wendy hugged her back. And to me, it took, look, child, I think, Seneca, I feel like it took everything in Chyna not to cry. And that's why she hugged her. Because she was sitting there, and when Wendy was talking, like, she was looking like, mm-hmm, mm-hmm. You can tell Chyna was getting sad, like, oh, wow, this isn't the same Wendy. Oh, wow. Something is different. I'm talking to her, and the way we used to have conversation, she can't do that no more. And it was the fact that Wendy was sitting there and she said, I wear two makeups. And she then pulled her wig off. And it was how Chyna, when Wendy pulled her wig off and her hair was all askew, all messed up, and Chyna then was like, you're beautiful. And she slicked her hair down so that it didn't look messy. Because we all know Wendy always said on her talk show, y'all will never see me without my wig. I will always wear my wig because her hair, as she had gotten older, her hair was thinning. She always said, y'all would never see me without my hair. So the fact that on the documentary, she was sitting around there with her full wig on. Okay? Because where was it? Where's the picture? She was sitting there in her Gucci coat and her pearls, waiting for Chyna with that wig on. That was her sitting there waiting for Chyna. You know what I'm saying? And she then pulled the wig off as she was sitting there. And I was like, Wendy would have never done that. Never. And I also feel like that also made kind of realize, okay, she ain't the same Wendy. Because Wendy would never pull her wig off. But the fact that Chyna, because I kept on saying, I'm like, why is folks letting her hair be disheveled? Why y'all won't comb her wigs? Because Wendy would never want to look disheveled. So when she pulled that wig off, and Chyna's like, "Oh, you look beautiful," and made sure to slick her hair back so that when she's in a better, different mind frame, she won't feel like I was on the damn show looking crazy. And no one told me. I told y'all when I was in the hospital. When I was in the hospital with COVID and I went live and did not realize it, like at the time I was not in my right mind. And I'm like, ain't nobody tell me nothing. I look a damn fool because when you're not thinking, you just don't realize how you look. And, her pulling her wig off on camera. And then I was like, this is child. But just seeing Chyna just sit there and, in her arms and just hugging her, to me was amazing because Chyna was just showing Wendy love as best she could because she couldn't have a conversation, truthfully, because the way Wendy was responding, she would just, again, it's the aphasia of it all. It's the dementia of it all. And sometimes the communication is just not there. Okay. And she's like, and she was hugging her, saying like, everything's gonna be okay. Everything will be okay. But she was saying it in a way like, I know I'm worried about her. And all I can say is, it'll be okay. And to me, this scene was the most touching scene that I saw. I also feel like when she sat and talked to her niece. That was a great scene, only because the niece was being very honest with her, so that was cool too. But this was like a very emotional scene because Chyna realized, yeah, it ain't the same, you know. Um, Now she goes to Florida to meet with her family. She ends up, meeting with her son and a nephew. She meets up with her dad, her brother, and whatnot. When Wendy brought up how she bought her parents this house back when she was 27 years old, and for them in Miami, in Florida, and how she was crying about how important her son was to her. We then to the day that she's flying out. And I will also say, after they came back from LA, we never seen anything else from her. She was no longer in the documentary after that. So either she got fired or something, but we didn't see, no hide, no hear of her no more. Okay. But Wendy, she's in LA, no, Florida. Her sister wasn't there yet at this point. Her sister did not start shooting scenes until the end of the documentary or whatever. So we didn't see any communication between Wendy and her sister. But I have her picture up there anyway because I just do. But the day she's supposed to fly out to Florida to see the family, child, she drunk. The lady was like, yeah, I got here, and Wendy is like throwing up. She's drunk. And I was like, child, because she's a drinker. And when the wheel dude told on the plane, said, she was asking for liquor on the plane, he said, I had to tell the stewardess, like, give her apple juice and tell them that it's apple flavored scotch. So have to trick somebody into thinking they drinking because they just won't stop drinking is insane. He then got to the hotel. He had to make sure that in the hotel there were no drinks in the room already. So he had to go up first, check the room. He had to call down to the front desk, the concierge, and say, hey, under no circumstances should anybody bring any liquor here. No liquor, no wine, no nothing. Okay. And I said, and again, he said, because her son does not want her drinking. So I do feel like he tried to stop her from drinking, but if she's already drank, it ain't nothing he can do. If he get to the house and it's an empty bottle of liquor, at that point she drunk. You know what I'm saying? So I give him I give where's he at? I give Will credit for that part. That he was making sure she wasn't drinking, when he was around. Okay. And it's crazy, And when she had the lunch with her son, and everything, like, you can see when he walked in, he was shocked by seeing his mom because at this point in time, he had not seen his mom in, I believe, 8 months. You know what I'm saying? And he like, when she was with me, because the doctors, because she was here in Florida for a couple months. Well, no, for like a month maybe. I forgot how long she was there. But he would, she was there. He was helping her, but he's vegan, so he was helping her out how she eat food. Like she had gained some weight. She had not been drinking. I cut off all the drinking or whatever. I had helped her get better because the doctors felt like she had alcohol induced dementia. So because of her drinking, things got worse or whatever. So I cut her drinking off, whatever, tried to help her. Both the niece and nephew say, well, yeah, because, Kevin was absolutely helping her get better. Like they said it was a family and a show decision for Wendy to come to Florida back in 2021. So during the hiatus of the show, Wendy went to Florida. When season 13 was supposed to start back again, she was supposed to come back to New York. And they were like, so sending or having Wendy go to Florida was the family's decision and also the show, trying to help her get better. The family said she got better while she was there. And because Kevin was the one pushing and pushing and pushing for her to do better and be better. They said the family then decided because she was getting better, but she still needed more time to heal and to get better, that she should stay in Florida longer. Their point was she should not have to return back to the show when she's not ready. She needs more help. Thank you, Kia Bell, for the super chat. My question is, who keeps buying liquor when they can't go? Sha. I feel like people who work for her. I feel like a doorman, DoorDash, Uber Eats. I feel like she may have been ordering liquor to the house, or she could have been having other people go get it. Because again, not everyone was stopping her from drinking. It was her family, and then the Will guy. Like Will allegedly wasn't getting her liquor. He would always stop her. So I do feel like it was other people who was getting it for her because she's Wendy Williams. And she can walk around the house. So if she order liquor to be delivered, she'll go get it. And then when he would find when the Will guy would find them, he was like, "Why you drink all the?" She would have the bottle in the bed. It was crazy, absolutely insane. But the family said how they made a decision, like, no, she need to be here longer. She not good yet, And when they said we were focused on her getting better, the show wanted us to kind of clean her up a little bit enough for her to go back and work. And we felt like, no, her health should be first priority. And they felt the show needed her. And we saw that with our own eyes because we kept on saying, Wendy ain't, why she coming back already? And they kept trying to make it seem, oh, she'll be back. She'll be back. And they was like, no, she needed more help. She can't come back. Her health should be the more priority. And they said, and that's when the show and the courts got involved. She was forced to go back to New York. And we know the Supreme Court of New York appointed her to the guardianship or whatever. And her family was removed from caring for her. And it do seem like Wendy was the cash cow. And the Wendy Williams show was the cash cow. And they did not want her staying in Florida. And they felt like if she back in New York, we can get her back on the show. And I'm like, that's not, no, ma'am, no, sir. And when she's there having a meeting with, not the dinner, not a meeting, with her son and the nephew, and she's like, hey, so you still okay with the podcast? He's like, you still want to do the podcast? We're doing it now. She really think this documentary is the podcast. And when she said, we're doing it right now, it's making me and Will money. I'm like, not you and Will. What Will, girl? Will, no. And I want to do a show. I'm going to be back on TV. I'm going to be, I'm taking my wig off. I'm going to show my feet. I'm going to sell my wigs. And Kevin looking like, oh, okay. And even he like, this shit ain't, no. Mm-mm. He realized it's not good, okay? And Kevin like, my mom looked confused. She looks confused. She looks concerned. She looks skinny. She looked like she did work. And I'm like, she do. Like seeing your mom just look confused and concerned. Like the way he explained, I'm like, perfect example. Perfect example. Like she don't look right. And he know it. And when he said like she looked like she need a break. She don't need to be the one trying to get back on TV. And the nephew said clearly people are taking advantage of her, and she needs help. But people are telling her things that are in their best interest and not her best interest, because the podcast is not in Wendy's best interest. She clearly needs help and not for work. And then when it was at one point, she's talking to her niece, and she's like, yeah, I'm back on TV. I'm going to be back on TV in September. And she was like, are you sure? That's not what you, are you sure? And when she's sitting up here talking to the niece, and she had on shorts, y'all. You know, when he just talks, she had long legs. She talking to the niece, and the niece is like, "Are you back on TV? They told you that? Okay." So dementia. Okay. And when the niece brought up how before they all had like, there was points in times where Wendy would forget words, get a bit confused, but they thought, oh, it's just a little bit, ain't that big of a deal. And she's like, now looking back on it, those few times, in the past when she would forget this, forget that, on the show, this in life, they didn't think, oh, this is the dementia. They thought it's just, people forget things. I forget things from them too. And she said, but now like it's clear the dementia is getting worse and worse because some stuff is not making no damn sense at all. And when the niece Alex tries to talk to Wendy about things, Wendy gets aggravated. Okay, aggravated, agitated, or whatever. Okay, I'm done. Can I watch TV? Yeah, I want to watch TV. Yeah, move so I can watch TV. And she kind of just dismisses the conversation because she don't want to have it. But I also feel like sometimes they say with people with dementia, when they think whatever is the real deal, when you try to tell them what's real deal, they get mad because in their world, that's not true. In Wendy's world, she's ready to be back on TV. NBC is going to give her a deal. Her feet are funny. Her wigs are for sale. And that's what it is. And when anyone says that's not true, she gets aggravated. And then when she went to see her dad, she was happy to see her dad. Her dad was happy to see her. They talked about visiting her mom. She crying because she crying because she missed the mom and everything. But when the dad said it's okay because mom is in a better place, so it's okay. I have one-way conversation with her. It's okay. I miss her too, though. I miss her too. She then says, "Dad, I'm gonna be back on TV on Wednesday." He said, "But today's Wednesday. You mean next Wednesday? When you're 90, I think the dad is like 98 or whatever. When you're 90-plus-year-old daddy, because the daddy know she's been diagnosed with the dementia. So he's aware of that. So he's more kind of following her mindset. If she thinks she's going to be on TV on a Wednesday, you mean next Wednesday? Because today is Wednesday. And you on TV today. You mean next Wednesday? She said, no. See, the lady is still, it's not working. So I have to wait till that for it to happen. Y'all, that's literally what she said. And you can tell that they're like, these words don't compute. So even how she explains things, she misses, she's not communicating properly. Her brain can't form like sometimes full sentences. And the dad like, okay, that's fine. Like he's not trying to correct her. He's not trying to like make her, he was okay. Sure. And I was like, Lord Jesus. Now, when she had dinner with the brother, the dad, her, her son, and they shut up too. A part of me don't trust Tommy fully. A part of me feel like Tommy, I do think he loves his sister because he did admit that at one point in time in the media, he was denying that Wendy had any dementia problems or whatever. He said, because at that point, I hadn't seen them. So I thought it was fake news. He said, however, I do understand that she has the issue. I said, I think he had the drinking issue because I'm like, sir, your sister had the drinking problem. Her son don't want her drinking. You at the dinner ordering drinks. What is your problem, sir? Okay. What the hell? But he also said, he realizes his sister has an issue. He said, but she's not a child. So because she's very tough, she's a kid, it's difficult to kind of gauge how to handle things because again, we can't boss her around. When her son and the nephew get there, and then the waiter come with like drinks, and the waiter takes like these 2 wine glasses,
So they was like, wait, no, what are that? Who's that for? The son and the nephew both take, like, no, give it here. Mm-mm. No, no, no. Like saying, no, she not finna, again, the son, the nephew, the niece, even the punk ass manager. I think the daddy too. It's like, no, 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 no. And the brother who's sitting next to Wendy, I'm like, why would you order liquor? You know, yes. When she said, because when she sat down to the table, she recognized her daddy, and she sat down, and she thought her brother was Kevin, and it was really almost beautiful because he understood. He understood she wasn't. She was confused, but how he just said, "Mm-hmm, yeah, mm-hmm, mm-hmm," like he allowed whatever her thought was to be her thought, because eventually I feel like she recognized that it was her brother, but in that moment she thought, "Hey, Kevin, I'm so happy you're here," and I was like, "Ooh," because the daddy he was like, "Kevin." He didn't look like that, ain't Kevin. But the brother said, "Yeah." He didn't say, "Yeah, it's me, Kevin." He didn't. He didn't tell her, "Yes, I'm Kevin," but he also did not correct her to where she may feel some kind of way that she made, an error, you know. But the one part I love with the fact that the son and the nephew was like, "No, you're not gonna drink, no, ma'am. Mm-mm. No, she no liquor," and it would, I want some liquor. No. Mm-mm. And the son, like, as long as she has yes folks around her, she won't get no better. You know what I'm saying? That she should not be in New York by herself. She should never be alone, and she need to be here. Now they said that he asked her, excuse me, he asked her to stay in Florida, but she went back to New York. So they're like 5 days later, in New York or whatever, she's in her room, she's been drinking, like, she always looked drunk. You can tell when, like, Wendy was drunk, not a little bit drunk, a lot of bit drunk, to where she's in the bed crying, like fully boohoo crying because she misses her family. To me, a part of the dementia, her dementia comes and goes, so you can tell when she's in her right-ish mind or when it's a bit delusional. Um, she admits she's lonely because she's in New York by herself. No one lives in that apartment with her for a time. The girl who was there is gone. I feel like they must fire her. And when Will walk in, the manager will walk in like, "What's wrong? What is wrong?" And she just crying in the bed, drunk. And he's like, "I can't do this alone. It can't be just me. She also can't do it by herself." I'm like, nigga, the family wanted to be involved. The courts removed them from helping. I blame the courts. He said she needs somebody with her 24/7 because she keeps getting drunk. And when production said to him, like, "We've been telling y'all that this whole time." Production has always been asking them questions like, "Y'all know she drunk, right? Is y'all okay with her being drunk? Y'all don't see that? No one sees that? Do you see that? Do you see it?" And like when he said, well, "I'm not saying I was denying it," I'm like, "No, y'all were. Y'all were. Y'all knew she." Again, Wendy lost her husband, her son went to college, her mom died, COVID and seclusion happened. She wasn't on the show, and then the bank took her money. So it's a lot. I may drink too. I won't get drunk, but I may get drunk too. Will then said, from that LA trip till now, like, she ain't been the same. She's been trying to kind of regained her stableness since she came back from LA. Meaning in LA, she probably was drinking a lot, even though she only there maybe a few days. If you are somewhere for a few days and you're drinking, you're just back into drinking. So Will trying to blame everything but himself, and also say I can't do it alone. Meaning when she's stumbling and fall, you can't blame me. So you're the manager. You around now. So when productions are like it's like her health is like it's declining. Like she's getting worse. This is no longer about her trying to do the podcast shit. We came here numerous times to do interviews or whatever, and she's too drunk to do an interview. Like we gotta stop. Production said they stopped filming her in April of 2023. Now they started filming in August of 22. And then they stopped in April of 2020. Well, yeah, in April 2023 because they're concerned for her well-being. She then went like to a rehab or whatever at that point in time, and production had no contact with her, but Will would tell production stuff like, oh, she's still drinking or whatever. I went to the house. She locked herself in the bathroom with a bottle of liquor or whatever, was drunk. And she needs to be put like in the facility, okay? Because this ain't gonna help. So they didn't say, oh yeah, the guardianship people and Will put her in some place, okay? But her family did not know nothing about it. They said she was in treatment for 6 months. 6 months of treatment, production. Now the last thing we saw Wendy was Wendy in the bed crying. And there was no more Wendy. Like the last 30 minutes of it, there was no Wendy. It was her niece. It was the family. And then that's what we saw her sister who popped out. Will was talking. But at this point in time, Wendy had been in treatment for 6 months. We seen her sister, her dad, the niece talking and stuff or whatever. Her sister Wanda was like, look, I'm aware that Wendy's aware that we're doing the documentary, whatever. She knows I'm involved now. Things have not always been perfect with us. I know that for a fact. But I love her. We want the best. There's not a part of me that feels the niece, the nephew, her son, and her dad. I don't at all feel like they had anything bad to do with Wendy and how she got to where she was. You know what I'm saying? I don't feel like they had any ill intent or nothing. I feel like Wendy, before the guardianship happened, was a spender. Once her and Kevin divorced, I feel like Wendy felt like I can be free. I'm going to spend all my money and live it up, okay? The at-home body of a Wendy who we knew was no more. I do feel like Wendy was probably spending money on her son because it's her money. She's rich. It's her, celebrities spend tons of money on their kids all the time. All the time. We have seen white celebrities spend hundreds of thousands or millions of dollars on their children. So I feel like she was absolutely spending money on her son. I also feel like if he wanted something, she got it for him. I do. I don't think that had anything to do with her dementia or whatever. I don't feel like her son was taking advantage of her at all. I feel like it was a mother-son relationship. I think the nephew and the niece also loved her. I think the niece is the best one to help navigate because she's also a newscaster. So she kind of knows the business or whatever. The sister and the brother, there could be some sibling rivalry there, but that's in all families. That's in all families. I don't feel like the sister was like harming Wendy. Not even the brother. I don't trust the brother, but I don't see him trying to like use this. This is somebody I don't know. And they all are saying how the power of attorney, the controllership or whatever, should have always stayed with Kevin and maybe just added in Kevin and maybe the niece and the nephew. But it should have included the family, you know. And when they bring up how, the courts were saying that somebody was spending money and they were alluding to Kevin allegedly spending money, taking money from the accounts, and his mom not knowing the blah, blah. But he's like, I've never taken any money from my mom. I've never used or spent money without her approval. She always told me if I need something, ask her, and she'll do it. She'll give me the permission to do it. And we see a lawyer person saying, if the courts feel like you give somebody approval to do something, but you did it at a time where you wasn't mentally capacitated, is that a word? I think so, or competent to make that decision, they will overturn or overrule whatever you allow someone to do, and they say, hey, you know what? They need somebody else to make their decisions. Meaning to me, somebody on Wendy's team told the bank, I don't think because how your bank know how you is? Somebody told her bank, the bank got involved, and that's how the whole guardianship should happen. Messy. Messy. Wanda brings up how, they had asked me to be a guardian, and I said, I don't know what that is. And she's like, they explained to me that I would have to take some classes or whatever, and I would just have to help her. Fine, I'll do that. She said after they asked her if she would be willing to do it, the next thing she know was big old wall up, and then they had assigned somebody else to do it. And the family had no conversation, no connection to these new decisions being made by a stranger. The family also brought up how, they would go see her or whatever. And before the guardianship, and how they felt like it's off. Something with her was wrong. They would try to talk to her or whatever. And, she was kind of, well, leave me alone. Shut up. Blow them off. Okay. And then she would start to push them away, because if I want to drink and you don't want me to drink, get out my face, get out my house. I don't need to talk to you. And then we see the wheel dude, her staff member at her old apartment, clean the whole apartment out. The family did not know that while Wendy was in treatment, the management team and the guardian cleaned out her penthouse apartment and sold it. How you sell my shit? Now, Will said we want to get her into some kind of long-term treatment place to get her some help, and then get her into an apartment that's easier for her to maneuver around. And now I get it. Wendy's feet don't work. She got 1% feeling or whatever. She should not have no condo or upstairs, because she's gonna fall. Okay. And the end was the sister saying, I've talked to my sister, since she's been in this treatment for, at this point, 6 months or whatever. And he's like, she said, the sister said, she sounds different. She's talking more about, she knows the issue with her, and she knows she needs to do better, and she wants to go to court, and just she wants the guardianship person done. She doesn't mean the family helping, but she know she need help, but she don't want the guardian doing things. Now, again, to me, the niece and her son, best two. Because the son is I want to be sure she's healthy. The niece is gonna call out bullshit for anyone around her that she don't trust. Because she called out the girl, the Sean girl, I don't know you. Why are you here? Who are you? She will keep shit on land too. I think if the son and the niece at least are legally in charge, I think when the family wants to make decisions, they can still do that in a good way. And no one felt like Kevin was doing a bad job. And I mean, look, Kevin was doing a bad job. They're like when they said how Wendy hopes that she can, because the conservatorship guardianship has to be renewed like yearly. So in 2024, this year, of course, it will be reviewed. And they're like, hopefully Wendy can go to the court date in her own right mind and say, I don't need this other guardianship. I should be able to make my own decisions. Or again, the niece and the son. Because both of them want the best for her. I do feel like because Wendy does not have an actual income coming in, the spending does need to be controlled. She should not be spending all this money all the time. However, a stranger in the bank should not have access of Wendy's money. And if the guardianship is ended and Wendy then has Wendy or her family or whoever has control of her accounts, whatever money she has in Wells Fargo, send that shit somewhere else. Okay, go in there, get all your money out. Get all the pennies, nickels, and dimes out of that place and move on. And when the family said how, and it was mainly the mom and the sister. I'm sorry, the mom, the niece, and the aunt. Girl, Wendy's sister and her niece. They were saying, we hope the documentary will bring light to the fact that why did the courts take 2 years of my sister's life and put her life in the hands of a stranger? Like, that should not have been able to happen. That's the travesty here of what she went through because of what the bank did. Okay. And when they said how Wendy is, she's great in this and she's great and she's done all this. Wendy has done a lot. Look, Wendy is.
She's an icon. She's a legend. And she is the moment. Now, come on now.
Because y'all know when Wendy was Wendy, we loved and hated her too at the same time. However, she for sure left her mark in the world of entertainment, from her talk show from her radio show to her TV talk show it was also like a radio talk show too, but she for sure is a legend in it. And not that she was perfect, because she said some things before. She's revealed, but she's exposed folks' business or whatever. So it was. But Wendy for sure, at least the 12 years that she was on TV, deserves all her flowers. And while some folk, oh, that's karma. She's getting her karma. And I was like, no, dementia happens to a lot of people. It's not karma. It isn't. So I hope, no matter what, I love that the end of this documentary showed her from way in the yesteryear when she was on radio to where she ended up within television. It's only sad that the end of her television career, like the end seasons that she was on, was riddled with the scandal. However, the totality of Wendy's career can't be denied. And I think that's why we are so vested in what's going on, because ain't no reason she should be broke and only have these vultures around her that seem to be picking at a carcass. And again, the manager guy Will, the publicist girl Sean, whoever the guardianship person is, those three people, get out my face. Leave them be. We don't like you. Okay? And I hope that whenever it goes up for review, her son and the niece are allowed to be the guardians. The son and the niece are able to make decisions. Wendy is able to move to Florida to be with her family. She don't need to be in New York. She doesn't. I know she's a New Yorker, been her whole life. But no, I'm also happy that her husband, ex-husband, was not involved. The fact that no one from the Wendy show speaks volumes. It speaks guilt a lot because when Kevin and the nephew and them said, like, the show and us made the decision to have her come to Florida, and they then said, but the show forced her to come back because they wanted her working. They, to me, I believe every word of it. I believe every word of it. It almost makes me feel like Dead Mar Mercury, who was the production, who was behind the team, behind the thing. I'm like, shady business, shady dealings. It was a sad thing to watch. However, it was very enlightening. It brought light to what she's going through. And we can now just hope for the best. You know, this is, to me, almost like where Britney Spears went through her daddy. The difference is, at least they gave her father, you know, rules for her. Whereas Wendy's being ruled by a fucking stranger. Anyway, y'all, that's all. The best part to me again, one, I feel like seeing her this way was hard. Experiencing her dementia and aphasia in this way was hard. However, it also makes us realize that when you have older family members or whatever who's going through these things, as a family, you have to be involved to be sure somebody don't come in here and wreak havoc. And the courts allowed somebody to come in her life and wreak havoc. And then the only people around her were people who wanted to use her. The manager, the PR person, the management team. She didn't need no podcast. She did not need a makeover. She did not need. Technically, the only reason this was needed was to expose everything else. But remember, y'all, this was supposed to be a podcast for her to get the podcasting. And she wasn't even aware of what it really was. And when production's like, we're going to stop shooting. This is getting messy. This is getting messy. And for them to stop shooting it because her health is declining speaks volumes. Anyway, y'all, I'm done. Look, I love recapping the stuff with y'all. Don't forget to go back and watch part 1. I also had a gossip chat about Portia and them and Housewives and them or whatever. I do not believe I will be on live tonight because I've already done 3 videos today. I will be live tomorrow night. So come on back tomorrow night for a conversation, okay? Oh, Booth was on there too. Booth was on part 1 a little bit, okay? But you know, sometimes you make me mad. Sometimes. Anyway, y'all, please have a good rest of your evening. I will see y'all and talk to y'all tomorrow. Y'all know to subscribe to my channel, support it by subscribing and watching and things, okay? Like, comment, share. Follow me on social media at JayLeesCorner on IG, Twitter, and TikTok. I love you all. I love you all, okay? I gotta go, y'all.